tonight. Clear, lows back into the upper 20s. For Thursday, a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine, a nice warm up near 55, and more clouds and some showers rolling in Friday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily, locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm 1412 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. Live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's Nooganomics with David Tulis.
In the Roadrunner cartoons, the Acme product line is the one to which the Roadrunner resorts for his latest gadgets to thwart Wile E. Coyote. Acme, of course, means the highest point, the high level, the peak, if you will. And it seems that we are at the acme of the credit economy, the acme of the insurance economy. And by that, I mean that there is a terminus ahead where the common man is going to realize he's been fooled by the establishment, by the media, by government, by the routine banter on the press wires, on newspapers, on television. And he's going to be in for a shock, and he's going to withdraw his consent economically and maybe politically. He'll quit voting in even greater numbers than in which he has already quit, right? He's quit in huge numbers, realizing in some sense, and in some poetic sense, that there's no point in voting. And insurance and inflation are friends, and they've worked together since the progressive era, the rise of corporate insurance, replacing family insurance, replacing affinity insurance, and risk pooling among church members or members of certain guilds or trades or unions. That is the way in the progressive era coverage was obtained for disasters or for burial expenses. Now we have insurance for everything. We have in Tennessee mandatory insurance for using a motor vehicle in commerce on the public road. Again, a licensed activity in commerce, quite apart from the constitutional right to travel that a few people are insisting still exists. And I think that behind the modern state is the insurance concept, and we can see that in the unwillingness of the modern state to let anybody have any contingency for which they can't immediately pay. So everything's insurance, privately paid for or corporately paid for, or the state, which is the backstop for all problems. And in fact, so aggressive is the insurance concept that the state will step into a situation before there's a crisis to prevent a crisis, right? That's what public school is for. We have public schools to make sure so that people will know how to read and write. That's why they exist. And somehow we don't realize that the mission, if that's the stated mission of public education, that it has failed dreadfully. What with the astronomical levels of functional illiteracy. And I want to point out that that's not a mistake. Functional illiteracy is not a mistake. It's policy. That there have to be people like that. That is not a mistake. That is, in fact, the goal of modern school thinking. If you just read some of the histories and some of the philosophies of Dewey and others who are behaviorists and good democracy advocates, that is what they wanted. I make this observation in light of a story on the front of the Wall Street Journal about car insurers finding tracking difficult to sell. And that is to have a car and there's a GPS that keeps a constant record of your use of that car, the number of times you press the gas pedal, the power with which you apply the brake, so that your rate can be determined. If you allow surveillance of your movements and your use of the car, you might get a lower rate. And the problem is, though, if you're someone who slams the brake on here and there, that's going to work against you. Allstate, it says, tracks hard braking, defining it as a decrease in speed of 8 miles an hour or more in a second. The company has found that drivers who slam on brakes more than 8 times every 500 miles are 73% more likely to get into an accident in a given year, and therefore deserve a higher rate. The story interviews Vanessa Irwin of Farwell, Michigan. She has her grandmother talked her into getting an insurance policy with the surveillance device attached. My grandma kind of talked me into it, says Ms. Irwin, 22. She said, what can it hurt if it saves you money? Within a month, her rates were cut by 30% to about $165 a month. The story says that Progressive won't share data of this cash with third parties, quote, unless it's necessary or appropriate to service your insurance policy, detect or prevent fraud, perform research, or comply with the law, such as in a request to a subpoena in a civil lawsuit or by police when investigating the cause of an accident. You see why people don't want to cooperate with this new level of insurance coverage. Progressive said it has received subpoenas in a small number of instances, declining to provide specific. The data stays in Progressive's computers after the 6-month period is over. And it's called the snapshot program. And so insurance would insure everything. And yet here we have the age of insurance, and medical insurance, which we think is going to be there for us, is evaporating thanks to the good people. In a way, we don't complain too much about these losses against the marketplace, and even against you, because they are inevitable. They come with the territory, right? If you're involved in commerce, the more you're involved in commerce, the more you have to deal with government and the federal government and the good people. And we are, if we were at an acme, at the highest point, as I suggest, the acme is of success, right? And the success, though, has its cost. The cost is decapitalization, the loss of capital, and in fact, the loss of free markets, which you will enjoy. If you go to Wimpy's, you will understand free markets. Wimpy's is a very free market, very local economy kind of place, just opposite the town hall in Saudi Daisy. There's a meat broiler in the side lot, smoking away, and giving you great barbecue for sandwiches and other things as well. And at Wimpy's, the business of the town seems to be decided by the old men in their caps and their deep drawls. Now you go there and you'll find out what America is really like. And I say that to you, my listener from Germany, right? You're here in Chattanooga and you want to find out about local culture. Well, there you'll find local culture at Wimpy's, very local economy, and part of the local capital base, let's just say. Well, inflation, which we have in secret, there's a secret inflation, as you can see it in the used car loan market, for example, in the Dow and the stock market, for example. We have inflation, and the result is decapitalization. There's a great essay by R.J. Rushdoony that he wrote in 1967, which I looked at again this morning, having marked it. Decapitalization, he says, means the progressive destruction of capital so that a society has progressively less productive ability. Okay, we're in that situation now. Capitalization is the accumulation of wealth through work and thrift, and decapitalization is the dissipation of accumulated wealth. A free economy, capitalism is impossibility without capitalization. Some of the potentially wealthiest agricultural countries are importers of agricultural produce, such as Venezuela and Chile. He goes on to say, capitalization is the product of work and thrift, the accumulation of wealth, and the wise use of accumulated wealth. This wealth is invested in effect in progress because it is made available for the development of natural resources and the marketing of goods and produce. The thrift, which leads to the savings or accumulation of wealth to capitalization, is a product of what? And here is where we are coming up short, a product of character. We think about the Ooltewah situation. Character is the basis of capitalization. Capitalization is a product in every era of the Puritan disposition, of the willingness to forego present pleasures to accumulate some wealth for future purposes. Without character, there is no capitalization, but rather decapitalization, the steady depletion of wealth. As a result, capitalism is supremely a product of Christianity, and in particular of Puritanism, which more than any other faith has furthered civilization. This means that before decapitalization, which is what we're having now, in great and more wrenching forms, in either socialism or inflation can occur, there must be a breakdown of faith and character. Before the U.S. began its course of its socialism And inflation, it had abandoned its historic Christian position. The people had come to see more advantage in wasting capital than in accumulating it, in enjoying superficial pleasures than in living in terms of lasting pleasures of the family, faith, and character. Inflation succeeds when people have larceny in their hearts. In fact, that's one of R.J. Rushton's book titles. Like inflation, it takes from the haves to give to the have-nots. By destroying capital, it destroys progress and pushes society into disaster. As the product of capitalization begin to wear out, well, what happens? New capital is lacking to replace them, and the state has no capital of its own. It only impoverishes the people further, and therefore itself, in trying to create capital by taxation. Well, we've had, as David Stockman points out in his book, we've had a lengthy era where the bills have not been paid, and they've not been paid by a tax rate. The tax rate to pay the bills of the good people would be astronomical. There would be a revolt. And so the government, the federal government, and the deep state behind it have not imposed the taxes that are necessary to pay for its consumption. And that's why there's a disaster ahead. Every socialist state progressively decapitalizes itself. And he says that, let's see, how are we to defend ourselves and how can we have a return to capitalism? Capitalism can only revive if capitalization, again, character, revives. And capitalization depends in its best and clearest form on the character produced by biblical Christianity, by the regeneration of man through Jesus Christ. This means that we must begin afresh to establish truly Christian churches, to establish Christian schools and colleges, to promote Christian learning as the foundation of Christian character. Capitalization does not depend on winning elections, important as elections are. No election has yet really reversed decapitalization. The demand is for increasing decapitalization in the form of more welfare, more Social Security, more Medicare, and the like. For the past generation, no office holder has done more than to slow down this process very slightly. An election does not produce character, which is the foundation of capitalization. I say this because there's this touches on the Ooltewah story, the Ooltewah rape story of the queers putting the pool cue in the rectum of an unwilling freshman victim at a public high school outing in another county. A story that has gripped Chattanooga and has been, of course, a focus of the national news. Character is the thing that's in question. Now, the question I have for you is about Dr. Greg Martin, who is a school board member and he's the chairman of the policy committee, as described by David Carroll in his recent story about this effort. Is Dr. Martin right? His tools are limited, of course, in what he can do as a school board member. And he's doing the best he can. He really has no option but to form a committee. And the committee is going to look at how it is that rape with a pool cue is wrong. It's going to make more rules that make the point in a probably colorfully redundant fashion that you can't do that, right? So that there'll be some explicit rules about various objects which one cannot put in another person's rectum. There'll be explicit rules about things that cannot be said. There'll be rules about how the hand is to be used. One cannot use one's hand to strike someone. One cannot flap one's tongue to say a list of offensive words or make offensive comments. These are things that are in view by Dr. Greg Martin. Really, one can only applaud his efforts. Okay, I'm not saying that he's doing something wrong here, but he's engaging help. He's engaging Garrick Hall, a wrestling coach at Hickson High. He's the chairman of that committee. Wayne Brown, Bridge and Gap, Grant Goslin, who's a volunteer. There is Evelina Holmes, the Unify Ed, representing the Unify Ed group, the group that is kind of marketing for public schools. And Rob Filial, the juvenile court judge, and Marcus Perez, owner of a company called Elite Behavior Analysis. And then there's another man, Lee Rogers, a parent, David Carroll says, and a community volunteer. What are we expecting these people to do? Well, what they can only hopelessly flail at the problem, which is the loss of character. And I would suggest in that institution, a loss. There's a loss of a way. There's not a loss. There just never has been given to these local establishments a way of keeping out people. There's no way of having determining who is eligible for the free service of the public factory school. It's a free service. How do we determine who gets it? Does everybody get it? Well, the practice is in the state of Tennessee is that everybody gets it. There are no eligibility standards. And so character is excluded as a basis upon which to reject people, boys and girls, and their families from this free service. We have a committee. The committee will inescapably favor what everyone favors in our day, and that is more laws. We have to have more writings, more lines of type. And it doesn't matter if the type is Courier or Geneva, with serifs or without serifs. The type is going to be in big letters. It could be 9-point, 12-point. It could be 30-point. It really wouldn't affect the writing. You have a bunch of words that are going to be written up, and there's going to be discussion about it in subcommittee meetings on what words are the best words to have to describe what is allowed in a public school setting. A sponsored field trip or a game. Can a boy threaten another boy with death? Can he use the F word? Can he use the F word in certain circumstances, but not in others? Can he threaten to wound somebody? I mean, are these things, do we have to be explicit? Maybe the committee just needs to be explicit, as federal law is explicit, as the Tennessee Code is explicit about all the things that you have to do or that you are forbidden from doing. We have just more of the same. There's a kind of a confidence in words that is part of, I would like to suggest, part of the decapitalization picture, part of the inflationary economy. The economy that R.J. Rushdoony in his book, which is called The Roots of Reconstruction, he says that these are the lack of character. These are where we have the losses in culture, the losses that the state is incapable of reversing. It cannot be reversed by President Obama. It cannot be reversed by the Congress. Now, what could reverse these things? Is there an answer? And I maybe I've spent too long analyzing the problem and not long enough on discussing the solution. Well, you're just going to have to forgive me. But you know what? We do have tomorrow. We do have tomorrow here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. And we do have YouTube tomorrow. And we are at the YouTube channel, Hot News Talk Radio on YouTube. And you can see whether my bow tie is on straight. Today, I've got a real snub-nosed 38 bow tie. And it's a mess. Okay, it's a mess, and I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm here, but I am on radio. After all, I'm on radio, and it doesn't matter that I have clashing, colorful costumes occasionally. We're also on your smartphone. Just get the TuneIn Radio device. That's TuneIn Radio app, and online at hotnewstalkradio.com. Go to that website, and you can hear our fine shows. You can hear Russell the Kid. You can hear Duke Nukem with our prepper show on Thursday at 11. Even, and you can hear Colin Cowherd. You can hear all of our stars. Sean Hannity, right, the great neoconservative stalwart. We've got Sean Hannity, and you better listen to Sean Hannity to find out what's going on in the Republican Party and what you, the Republican Party member and fan, need to do. Well, my name is David Tulis, and what is the solution? Well, the solution is not a belief in paper, a belief in words that control people. The control has to come from the inside. And that's why we say that the most important form of government is self-government. And that's why we go on to say that we are a very pro-government station. I like to say that to people. We are very pro-government, very, very pro-government. And I like to confuse people even further, since the nomenclature may not have entered their thought processes deeply yet, not yet anyway, that you, my listener, and I, we are classical liberals, okay? Let's throw that at the Democrats. Throw that at them. Say, hey, I'm a classical liberal. And you know what a classical liberal is? That's someone who loves the marketplace so much that he despises, and even in his worst moments, he actually hates Republicans, because Republicans are frauds and shills for big business, shills for the nation warfare state, shills and defenders of foreign wars and police departments and security surveillance and the NSA and so on. That's what the Republicans are all about. But a classical liberal is someone who despises these things. And of course, does he despise the manifestations of these ills in the Democratic Party? Well, of course. I mean, that goes. I don't even have to say that. But I talk to you, my listener, probably because you are probably tempted more to like Republicans than Democrats. But don't be fooled, right? Don't be fooled. Don't think that President Obama's speech is all bad because it's very Democratic. Well, no, his speech is very much part of the Republican platform. The Republicans are not really that much different from his presentation with its national solutions. Well, the local solutions, the local-centric answers are they are internal. I could say they are religious in nature, right? The answers come from in some living a proper life before God, repenting of one's sins, caring about one's neighbor, loving one's neighbor as oneself, which the Lord Jesus said is the sum of the law. Love God first with all your heart, mind, and soul and strength, and your neighbor as yourself. That is a summary of the Christian doctrine. And it really has an effect. People who say they believe in those things really don't often, because they say, well, the loving your neighbor has to be done through an agent. The agent is the empire of service bodies under the president. All of them, of course, are executive agencies, and HUD and everybody else. They're all executive agencies. They're under him. And is Christian charity, is Christian mercy, is the grace of God extended through those bodies and their local offices and their local advertisements? Or are they hindered? I think you have an answer to that question. And so I'd like to suggest private solutions, the private market, the liberty of the spirit, the liberty of the mind. Legal liberties, of course, if you can get to defending them, that's important too. Well, this is David Tulis. I do thank you for giving me just a couple of minutes of your time. We are here at AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. And Russell is next.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
After this cold start, expect lots of sunshine for your Wednesday. Staying chilly, afternoon highs near 45. Tonight, clear, lows back into the upper 20s. For Thursday, a beautiful day, lots of sunshine, a nice warm up near 55, and more clouds and some showers rolling in Friday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily, locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sourcine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Core. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
On your signature, you can get $150,000. Can you believe that? $150,000 on your signature. Hi, I'm Bruce Krebs with the Entrepreneur Source. There's a program right now that you can get $150,000 on your signature with no pledge of collateral or personal guarantee. Call me at 423-875-5621 to learn more. 423-875-5621. You've been thinking about starting a business and becoming self-sufficient. Don't do it on your own. I have a proven track record for the last 13 years. 96% success rate. I can guide you into a franchise where you will pay yourself through the startup phase with very low or little risk. Call me now. I'm Bruce Krebs at 423-875-5621. 875-5621. And make sure to listen to the Entrepreneur Hour every other Wednesday from 11 to 12 o'clock here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Call me now. 875-5621.
While politicians debate climate change and taking our guns, they leave America vulnerable to disaster. You need to act now to keep your family safe and prepared. Do you have an emergency plan? Do you have long-term storage food? Do you have the skills and mindset to survive a disaster? If not, what are you waiting for? Call P5 Preparedness right now, 423-602-2175. Do you honestly think the government is going to help you? If you do, you are wrong, dead wrong. Don't get caught unprepared. Let the experts at P5 Preparedness get you ready for any emergency or disaster situation. Today, we offer a wide range of classes for the beginner on how to prepare, as well as the expert prepper. We stock a wide range of supplies, including long-term storage food, water filtration, outdoor gear, tactical gear, and plate carriers. P5 Preparedness, East Brainerd Road between I-75 and Gun Barrel Road. You will see the Army Deuce and a Half truck, 423-602-2175, 1309 Panorama Drive, Chattanooga, P5preparedness.com.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president giving his vision for the country, saying the state of our union is strong.
Surveys show our standing around the world is higher than when I was elected to this office, and when it comes to every important international issue, people of the world do not look to Beijing or Moscow to lead. They call us.
He spends time in Nebraska and Louisiana today, where he'll likely underscore the points he made in his address last night. Investigators in Brussels reporting progress in their investigation into the deadly Paris attack.
Belgian police saying they've identified 2 apartments and 1 house used by key suspects as they prepared to hit Paris in November. All 3 addresses were rented under false names and paid for in cash.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. And tonight's Powerball jackpot, $1.5 billion. Fox News, we report. You decide.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. Dr. Greg Martin, a representative in District 3 for the Hamilton County School Board, he's a chairman of the policy committee, has announced that he's named a special citizens advisory committee to aid the school board with a comprehensive review of its policies and procedures concerning discrimination, harassment, and hazing, bullying and intimidation, field trips, extracurricular activities, and related matters in public schools. A truck driver from Missouri has been arrested in Chattanooga after 2 women say he pointed a gun at them while they were driving on I-75. One of the women said that she was trying to pass the truck coming through Hamilton County when he held a handgun out of his driver's side window in his left hand. Deputies say they stopped the truck at the Bonnie Oaks exit, and when they did an inspection, they found marijuana and a .22 caliber handgun. And 2 Decatur men were arrested in Chattanooga after a pharmacist said the prescription they presented was for a long-dead doctor. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
After this cold start, expect lots of sunshine for your Wednesday. Staying chilly, afternoon highs near 45. Tonight, clear, lows back into the upper 20s. For Thursday, a beautiful day, lots of sunshine, a nice warm up near 55, and more clouds and some showers rolling in Friday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special world famous sauce. Open daily, locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sorgene 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Orr. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
When the weather turns bad, turn to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. On the net, hotnewstalkradio.com. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. From the Hot News Talk Radio Weather Center. Chattanooga, we've got you covered. When the weather turns bad, the Tennessee Valley turns to Hot News Talk Radio.
Go, 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 go. You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
Live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, it's Nooganomics with David Tulis.
The argument for local economy is a wonderful and weak argument. There are no stormtroopers that make the case for it. There are no 82nd Airborne Divisions sweeping in from the sky, blotting out the sun with a rain of paratroops, securing the beachhead on local economy. Nope, it's a suggestion. It is an idea, a rather whimsical idea that you, my listener, are starting to think in terms of, I hope anyway. And the argument that it makes is that local is better than national, that near is better than far, that small is better than big, and that simple is better than complex. And even in the footnotes where there's a fight among javelins and scimitars, the battle continues in the small type. And it says that personal beats corporate and that physical beats abstract. That is the argument of the provincial, the man whose mouth seems full of marbles, who lives in the country, who hasn't traveled much, who's very happy with his little town and his drugstore and the gas station and the bank, and whose life is full of his conveniences and his neighbors and people around him, who's content with what you might think is not much, but that is what he's content with, and that is the agrarian life, the simple life of an earlier era. We can still have that to some extent, and we can still, if we can't have it, long for it. Now, part of the argument is made here in Chattanooga by a restaurateur who throws mortar shells at the enemy. He's not taken local economy as a weak argument at all. He thinks that local economy is a ferocious concept, and his name is Paco Fotiadis.
Okay, that's me.
And
hold on 1 second. Here we go. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, so how is everybody doing down here in the South? This is Paco Fotiadis from the Two Crazy Greeks. We got a new gyro born last week. It's called the eggplant gyro for you vegetarians out there. If you're not vegetarians,
no condescension intended.
No problem. You can have that too. But we're doing good. We are pumping those gyros out. You want a burger, you can go next door. But remember, you come for the gyro to me. I am not the king. I am not Greek. I am Greek. Oh, did I say that? Okay. It's in my blood. I pump out Greek food. The Greek food we pump out is original Greek food.
Okay, we're talking with Paco Fotiadis. And caller, you are live on the air with David Tulis and Paco Fotiadis here at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. What's on your mind?
I just want to tell that young man there, he makes one of those best gyros I've ever had in my life. I ate there about 2 weeks ago, and I'm still talking about it.
I appreciate it very
much. People need to get down and see him there in Hicks.
Thank you much. Thank you much. I'm trying my best.
Okay, well, where exactly? How can my listener find you, Paco, in your dining establishment?
We are right next to that place called the Crystals, where they make the little burgers, and behind me is the Donald General. It used to be I think it was called a barbecue shack. Now it's called the Two Crazy Greeks. So we're on Hicks and Pike, right next to the Crystals.
And the barbecue shack has these violent blue and white stripes, and the big sign
that is my flag now. Yeah, that is Greek. It's all Greek. We are pumping out the Greek food. We have the original gyros.
So did the caller.
Gyro. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but it's like this, folks. We try to make the best fresh food we can. Every day is fresh because I am fresh too. Okay.
Well, how long has Two Crazy Greeks been open, Paco?
Yeah, we've been open a month now, and we're doing very good, and we're happy to say that our public people are enjoying the gyro. It's very good for you. It's healthy. It's a beef and lamb. We got chicken. We got pork. We got kids' hot dogs. We got meals for everybody. You can't go wrong. Forget about it.
I was telling my son, 13-year-old boy, yesterday about Paco coming on the show today, and I said he makes the best sliders. My son didn't really know what he was talking. What's a slider? It sounds like something on wheels, maybe.
4-inch pita bread, okay. And one day I was saying, why should they have little hamburgers next door? I figured I'll make that gyro slider for everybody. So come on down and try the sliders. It's no different than the big one. All our food is fresh. It's made daily. Do you hear me out there, everybody? Forget about it.
Well, now you're from New York, is that right? Your last stop was the Catskills.
Yeah, we're up in Catskill, and I live in a place called Athens. And now, my brother says, "Come on down. We need to open up a gyro place." And here I am. And hey.
Well, tell us about your perception of Southerners. What is it about Southerners that you find hard to accept, and what are things about Southerners that are real pleasure to you now that you're surrounded by them?
They're so
Paco?
Polite, and we're educating them on the way gyro. Everybody's saying gyro. It's not a gyro. Gyro, we said before when I was on the air, you spin a gyro. The gyro you eat. But my grandmother, my mother, my father been in the business all their lives, cooking. So here I am now cooking again too. I'm the second generation with Greek food, and we are providing for the Southern people to try.
What were the names of some of your family's restaurants?
Oh, well, one was called the Crystal Palace. The other one was called the Red Flame. It was Paco's Pizzeria back in Kalamata. I was there for 5 years. I was doing good, but you know what? This is home, so I came back home again.
Now, Nicky is your brother. He's been here for 3 decades, right?
Yeah, Nicky been down here 35 years. Yeah, he met his love of his life here, and he settled down. And he's a good guy. He's just like me. So he's you don't speak too loud. I'm the crazy Greek. He got a little craziness in him too, but we're doing good.
Well, what is it about local economy that my listener hasn't considered? Again, local economy being locally owned and operated. People who run advertisements on radio and television often say locally owned and operated, and the listener, I think, doesn't really pay any attention to that. It's just sort of mindless phrase, but it does mean something. What does it mean to you?
Well, to me, advertisement's a good thing because you really have to get your product out there. It might cost you a little bit at the end of the month, but people listen. And if you have people stop listening, then to that, your pockets are going to be empty. Your shelves are going to be full. So what are you selling? You're selling nothing.
Well, you've always been an entrepreneur, Paco, right? Have you ever been employed by somebody else?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. My last employment was in 1984. I started working for myself since 1985. So I was in the deli business back then. The guy was an engineer. He wanted to open a deli business. He called me. Let's do it. I did it. But then I started a hot dog business. Then I went to the pizza business, restaurant pizza, diner business. And here I am now, the two crazy Greeks.
Well, what is it about being your own master that my listener hasn't considered? One of the reasons I asked that question, Paco Fotiadis, I'm trying to get him to start his own business. And he's working for somebody else right now as an employee.
It's very hard, okay? People think being the boss is easy. It's not easy. You got employees not coming in. You got employees not talking right to the customer. You got employees who does not make the right tzatziki sauce. It's hard, fellas. It's really hard out there to be the boss. But the whole idea is keep your chin up high and be strong about it. You can make your goal on something. Focus. That's the way. If you don't focus, you're in trouble.
What about family capital? How much capital do you have involved in Two Crazy Greeks? And when you answer that question, say something about the other businesses that you're hoping on starting.
It's a little hard, that's a little personal about the capital. It's a touchy situation.
Well, did you go to the Small Business Administration?
No, I didn't have to get a loan. We, like I said before, we worked hard, we saved our money, and we opened the place. Maybe down the line, we might get a loan someday and open something bigger and something more. I'm not sure yet.
Well, what other businesses, Paco Fotiadis, since you're a serial entrepreneur, do you have in view?
Well, right now I got the hot dog business, Paco's Express Dogs, coming up soon in April. Then I got Father and Sons. I got a carnival trailer. I'm making an ice cream parlor pretty soon. Hey, how can you go wrong,
Now, you say Paco and Sons. Tell us about your family.
Well, my family, it's me, my wife, and my son, Zachary. And my other daughters and son are still up in the Catskills. Eventually, they'll come down with us and everything. And this way we can grow our business.
Well, say something more about some of your customers. Have you gotten to know some of your customers or all these new faces?
Well, my wife knows them by name already. We have a young lady. Well, not a young lady. She must be in her 50s or 60s. She orders Greek salads every day. We have a Greek salad with fresh chicken on top. We got the hummus. We got this. We got that. But our customers, we know by name in a month now. And we're trying the best to, know everybody because, you're a neighborhood business. You've got to make it your business. If you just sit there, oh, hi, what you need? You need a gyro? Okay, it's $7, please. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye. No, we greet you by your first name. How are you?
And that's because the owner is at the window, and which you have to kind of tap on to get you to open it on a cold morning.
Oh yeah, we need all the heat we can in there. Well, my landlord's cheap on the heat. That's okay. I'll pump up the gas.
Well, tell us something else about the South, Paco Fotiadis of Two Crazy Greeks that you've noticed. What are some things that are
down the South,
remarkable?
I see everybody takes it slowly. Everybody's kicked back. Up north, like everybody's attacking each other. Hey, I'm going to open a pizza place. There's 5 more pizza places on the next corner open up. Down here, everybody's nice, No one's looking to cut your throat. No one's looking to take what's out of your pocket. People are really nice, and you have to have that respect for people, which a lot of states don't have respect no more. It's a doggy world out there. And the thing is, government-wise, hats off to all of you up in the Capitol. I'm trying my best here.
Well, how is it that you separate yourself from other providers of Greek fare, Paco? How we know you have a distinct location with a distinct image. You're a kind of a small building, and no one can sit at a tablecloth covered table to eat at your establishment. How do you compete with other Greek sellers?
Well, very easy. We try the best. We're giving the original gyro. It is the right gyro. It's not that pocket Peter thing, okay? And pretty soon, come summertime, we're going to have tables out there. We're going to have a Greek night maybe once a month. We're going to string up some lights. We're going to have a bazooka.
We have a call. This is David Tulis, and you're live on the air with AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio.
I tried the gyros. They're really good.
What did you say? Gyros? It's gyro. I'm sorry. I don't want to correct you, but it's a gyro.
I can never get those right.
Well, I'm sorry about your luck, but try a little harder. Say gyro.
Okay, gyro. Okay,
gyro. There you go.
Are good. I like typically Italian food. What's the difference between, since I think the Greeks and Italians are very closely related.
You got it. Let me explain to you about that. It's Italian. Well, hold on. It's Italian way. It says una razza, una fata, just the ocean apart. We in the Italian use the same thing. Olive oil. It's about the olive oil. Once you have olive oil, that's why I got this olive oil skin. That's why my hair is nice and black. Yeah, a little white here and there, but it's okay. But you know what? We do make Italian food at my place, too. We make peppers and sauces. We got that Philadelphia real cheesesteak. Not that roast beef. Oh, we got French dip. Forget about it. Little jus on top, and you got it made.
Can I tell you something, Rocco? Rocco, listen.
No, Paco. Rocco left the building. It's Paco.
Paco. Okay, let me tell you. Everybody claims to make a Philly cheesesteak. No one knows how to make it. I'm going to tell you how to make a good Philly cheesesteak, then I'm going to try yours.
Go ahead.
Worst piece of meat. You put it on a greasy grill. You chop it up. You saute the onions, and you throw some American cheese. You got a Philly cheesesteak.
No. It's whiz cheese. The whiz.
Cheese whiz. Come on, that's South Philly.
Cheese whiz.
What they're doing in South Philly.
What you want to do? You want to do provolone pretty soon, or what?
All bad things roll south.
What happened?
Why do you think we're here? All right, thanks, Taco.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a nice day.
Okay, so there is some similarity between the Greek way of thinking about meals, Paco Fotiadis, and the Italian. You're going to admit that.
Of course, like I said, they make lasagna, we make pasticcio. It is the same ingredients, okay? But it's the same, almost the same taste, okay? They may make their little meatball smaller, we make ours a little bigger, okay? But it's the same. It's all about the olive oil. You got olive oil, you got it made.
We're talking with Paco Fotiadis and his little restaurant, a little shack with the Greek flag colors on it, if you will, is right next to the Crystal and Hickson, and the number is 710-2829. That's 710-2829. It's a family-run business. His brother Nicky is there. His wife, who's I think your wife Maria must be a very forgiving kind of person.
Oh, about the poor wife that I talked about last time. Oh, she's really mad about that, but she'll get over it.
She's a very forgiving person, and if you want to call, well, the reason that a restaurant will give out its phone number is for catering, for someone who wants to make a big order, say of sliders or gyros. Say something about your catering business and how that's getting going.
It's very simple. It's like this. We can provide up to 2,000 people and more. We might have to wait a whole week to chop everything up, but you will get it fresh. When I said fresh, I mean fresh. We got the sliders. You want 25 sliders. You want 15 sliders. You want the Greek salad. You want the chef salad. You want the moussaka. Whatever you need, we can provide. We got hummus out of this world. We make everything ourselves. We can cater on a dime. But hold on. Did I say a dime? No, you got to give us 24-hour notice. Okay.
Well, what about the whole local economy argument, Paco Fotiadis, of buying your vegetables and maybe some of your meat locally? I know you're just been open for a month, and so you're kind of feeling your way into local economy. Do you think that the Chattanooga market is rich in that kind of prospect?
Yeah, we buy everything locally. We don't buy from Knoxville or Georgia. We buy from right here in Chattanooga. Oh, Chattanooga, nice Chattanooga. And, our meats come from here. Our vegetables come from here. Our bread comes from here. Every product we use is from Chattanooga. And the way I see it is you got to support your neighbor business. If you don't, you're in trouble.
Let me ask you a question. What would happen if Chattanooga had only corporate stores in its retail ranks, where every store, whether selling tires or sandwiches or office supplies, was a corporate chain owned by the company? What would happen to Chattanooga, do you suppose, if that were true? Which, of course, it couldn't be true, but what would happen if it were?
Well, I think like this. I think all Chattanoogas people in Chattanooga do support their local mom and pop businesses. The big chains are no threat to nobody. You want to go buy from there, you buy from here, you buy from there. So I think it's all good that big chains come in and provide a service like mom and pop businesses provide a service.
So you don't feel threatened by big chain restaurants, including the one right next across the way from you?
No, not at all. Like I said, we're a class of our own. We have giros. We don't have hamburgers. We don't have. We do sell hot dogs, but they're no threat to us. No one no threat to us. Barbecue. One guy came yesterday for barbecue. The guy next to him says, "Forget about the barbecue. Try the gyro. I just bought one. It's out of this world." But he left. He went to look for barbecue. Hey, no problem. One day he come back and say, "Oh, the gyro was lovely. Thank you."
We were brought to you by Entrepreneur Source, run by Bruce Krebs. Bruce is the man to help get you, my listener, into not your own business, if you can't think of one, but into a franchise. That is what he does. He's a headhunter for franchising companies looking for local reps and local investors. His name is Bruce Krebs, and Entrepreneur Source is a way to get you into a business suitable to your background, your capital availability, your interests, and all right here in Hamilton County and Chattanooga in local economy. His number is 875-5621. That's 875-5621. And one other thing, there's a special for you, my listener. If you get the ductwork cleaned in your house, there's a special, and that is the clearing of your dryer vent. Your dryer vent is a fire hazard. I know you've not looked in there for 15 years, but the dust and lint buildup there could spark a blaze on one side of your house. Call Ducts, the indoor air professionals, formerly known as Duct Busters. The number is 876-9907, 876-9907. A little family business on Middle Valley Road, and takes care of everything between your vent and your HVAC system. Well, Paco Fotiadis, what is something else that my listener hasn't, that he needs to hear about Two Crazy Greeks? Why should he go there? How is it different from a national economy lunch or dinner out?
It's like this. You get full. You have a gyro. You have the sliders. You got a salads. Okay. It is not a fast food meal. It's a meal that's going to fill you up, and you're going to enjoy it. Everybody can have a hamburger. Like my wife says to me, throw a burger on the grill. No, a burger is never going to hit my grill. It is a grill for the steak sandwiches. It's a grill to warm up the gyro after I cut it. But we're doing okay.
And people, of course, they don't eat at Two Crazy Greeks. They get it and they take it out. They eat it in their car. They run it to the office, or they eat it on the road. If they're a long distance trucker with a straight body comes by, he's eating it on the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw a guy. He bought 3 of them. Here he goes down the road. Pretty soon, the drive-throughs should be coming in about a week or so. Then that comes summertime. We're going to have picnic benches outside. We're going to have soft ice cream outside. We're going to have the game trailer going. Kids could come up, play a game, win a teddy bear. Well,
that game, is that the trailer that I'm seeing on the side of your lot there?
Exactly.
The game trailer?
It's a 30-foot game trailer, and it says Coney Island on it. Behind those doors is an ice cream parlor ready to be built, and there's a 6-player game. All you got to do is pump a balloon, break it, you win a prize.
This is David Tulis. We are at AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, the station in which you report and the world decides. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're everywhere in the Twitterverse. We have a streaming outgo of posts there, and I'm the editor of Nooganomics.com. I'm going to post a story today about the war against the successful drug addiction treatment in the state of Massachusetts. The Massachusetts model gutted by the regulatory state, and the entrepreneur with a 37%, the doctor, 37% success rate in prison, and the state system providing relief and success for only 2% of drug addicts. Paco Fotiadis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on your air. Thank you. Bye-bye now, folks. Eat heroes.
Eat heroes.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
From all of us here at Hot News Talk Radio, thank you for patronizing our sponsors. It's important that you support people that support and advertise with Hot News Talk Radio, so we can continue to deliver the outstanding programs that you desire. And if you'd like to advertise on Hot News Talk Radio, you can email us at